Yo.
Hello.
Hello. It's warping time.
Time to warp. How you doing? You ready to talk Jurassic Park?
Yeah, let's get right into it. First of all, Sean, you didn't see it.
No.
Why didn't you see it?
It looks like trash.
Okay. I was excited for this movie. Very let down by Jurassic World 2, whenever that came out. I saw the reviews were pretty bad, so my expectations were pretty low, but I loved every second of this movie, even the ridiculous parts. This movie, I'm going to defend it vehemently. I was all about Jurassic World Dominion. To me, this is why you go to a summer movie. You see amazing things like huge dinosaurs looking great, like cutting edge CGI. It's got nostalgia factor. The cast from the original movie back to mingle with the new characters, and it was very awkward how they brought them back in. But I don't care, whatever it takes, whatever writing gymnastics it takes to get everybody back together. Like I like this movie a lot. I toyed with the idea of giving it 4 stars, but stuck with 3 because of the plot holes. But I enjoyed this movie a lot. To me, it's the best film in the entire series.
Oh,
Right,
even counting the originals?
I'm counting the originals. But what did you think, Caleb?
Oh, okay. So I gotta admit, this was way better than I expected. My bar for it was real low. The only reason I went is because my 9-year-old niece was like, "Oh, I want to watch this. The new Jurassic Road movie's coming out." And so then we went to Roadhouse Cinema because everybody recommended it. Shout out to Roadhouse Cinema, where you get to like lay back and they bring you your food and you get to be. We were in the front row, which would have been crazy bad because you know how bad that is for a normal theater because then you're like this the whole time. But since we were in those recliner seats, it was awesome. You were like right up close to that. I got to give a shout out to Roadhouse Cinema. Okay, so effects, all that, 10 out of 10. Storyline, the cheese factor was a little high. You know, the whole like, like how is that gonna stop this dinosaur that would shred your neck? You know, like
like, that part was a little bit out there. The fact that it stops everything, ridiculous.
Yeah. But and so I maybe like a solid 7. However, I really did appreciate, not only was it nostalgic because of the characters, like you said, coming back, but I really appreciated the whole like they like in the original film, the girl's in the kitchen and she's trying to shut that thing, and you know she's like screaming. And they kind of redid that, but with the 2 characters, the black pilot, she's like running and she's screaming. She's like, ah! And at first I was like, this is so out of character. Why is this chick screaming? She's been like, you know, pretty butch and pretty like the entire time. And then all of a sudden now she's screaming, and then it clicked. Oh, they're kind of recreating that system because her and that guy, they run into that thing and they're like trying to close it, and then they close the elevator shaft system. So things like that I thought it paid homage. It wasn't even just nostalgic, but it paid homage to the original. So those things I appreciated.
And it was also funny. Like this was never serious, never too dark. It was just like a funny and entertaining film. Like it was a joyous film, I'd say. So like it's a great movie to watch with the big crowd. You hear the reactions, you hear the shocks, and like you, Caleb, I saw it in a very plush circumstance. I saw it over at the Harkin Spectrum, where they have the Cine one with the really like soft things. I was like, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep. I need to be real careful. But I couldn't fall asleep. I wasn't even on the verge of that because this movie was so exciting the whole way through. So like I think people are in general, maybe critics more so than everyday moviegoers, are sick of these movies. It's probably time to end this trilogy. I hope this is the end because if you know the franchise is going to continue one way or the other. It's time for some new blood, for some new dino DNA. But like this is a good way to wrap up this 6-film like cohort. Like there have been some bad movies. The second editions in both trilogies were really awful. Jurassic Park: The Lost World, definitely the worst movie Steven Spielberg has directed. It's really amazing to think that he directed that one. But yeah, like to me, like this guy out Spielberg in many ways. Like it's kind of good that maybe he stepped aside and let some other people take over. If I'm to pick it apart, I'm going to say not a lot of Chris Pratt in this movie, not a lot of Bryce Dallas Howard. They kind of step aside. They don't have a lot of lines. But then again, I don't care about their love story or their personal stuff whatsoever. So the less I deal with them, the better. the raptor girl, I was hoping maybe for a little bit more. Like, what does it mean to have raptor DNA inside of you? We don't get to see a lot of that in this movie. Like, really, it means almost nothing. So, like that second movie, one of the few intriguing parts of it, of the second Jurassic World, it was that, hey, we've mixed DNA from a dinosaur with a human. What does that mean for humanity here? But we very much brush that aside. All right, so Sean, are you ever going to see this movie, or it's going to always blow it
That
up?
right there just makes me want to watch it. We mix raptor DNA. I'm just laughing at you describing this. This sounds like Fast and the Furious. This sounds so stupid.
Shouldn't it look a little bit different than a human if you do that? Like, shouldn't it be like a little bit of a raptor quality in a girl who has
Right. Okay, Sean, yeah. This is where I thought of you. Literally, I thought of you as I was watching this, not because you're part raptor, but because it was a little Resident Evil. It became kind of Resident Evil, like, oh, you are the one. You have the cure to our entire species.
And Sean, Sean has been dubbed a Resident Evil character by Kay.
I am. I am Leon S. Kennedy, apparently. So
it really did. It gave me those Alice vibes of Resident
What
Evil.
I thought of a lot when I watched this was the Jurassic Park video games, like those big ones that you'll see in Dave and Buster's. Like, this was just all about like.
I don't know about this. I feel bad for Laura Dern. What happened to her?
Wait, which one's Laura Dern?
Oh, she's the older blonde lady. I don't know what the name of the character is, but I feel so bad for Laura Dern. She's in all these great movies. She's in all this David Lynch stuff, and then it's like, oh, she's in Jurassic World
Park.
Dominion.
Yeah, I mean, with her character, you do kind of feel bad a little bit because you're kind of like, wow, you look like you should be spending time with your grandchildren. And here you are, probably getting paid really well. She probably got, I'm sure all three of those old school characters, they probably paid them a lot of money to appear in this film. But I honestly felt for all three of them, I'm like, you should be enjoying time with your grandkids. You should be like, vacationing in an RV somewhere. Like,
are you speaking in real life? Do you think Laura Dern should be in a in a rental home or something? An Airbnb. It's like, where did they pull her?
Here's an interesting thing too about Grant. When we first see him, he is digging for dinosaur fossils still. To me, there's nothing more irrelevant than archaeology for dinosaur fossils. Once you've got dinosaurs physically walking around, what is there to study? But they kind of acknowledge it a little bit. They say, hey, funding's dried up. It's like, oh yeah, of course funding's dried up, man. Like, what are you even doing here? You've seen the real thing. You've been like almost eaten by everything that you're digging up here.
That's so true. I never even thought of that.
But like, it's a fun movie. Sean, I think you would find things to enjoy about it. I know your heart is black and you are, Leon Kennedy. But you know what? I would suspect you would not purely hate this movie. I think you might find things to enjoy. That's just my guess.
I don't know. I was even looking at I've never seen any of them. I was looking at the first one on Blu-ray and was like, do I watch it? Do I watch this whole trilogy? I'm sure they are like that perfect level of schlock for me. Where it's like you can't tell if they actually were taking this seriously when they made it or not. Kind of like Fast and Furious. I still don't know if they're taking those movies seriously or if they know that they're bad. Like I don't know.
No, Fast and Furious, they absolutely know. You can tell. They just don't care. And
no. I don't think so. I think they genuinely think that they're making something amazing. I think that's why they're so good.
Maybe, but like here, these are very like you don't have that sense here. You're not going to outer space yet. You probably will. In
please.
7. But they try to ground it. Like, in fact, like another knock I have about this movie is like I really loved this movie throughout, but the very last scene is just so bad. And I don't necessarily want to spoil it. I'm sure Caleb could at least understand what I'm getting at. I'm talking about the very final frames where you're showing nature and like
it's
certain.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like at that point you can't like either nobody saw it critically or like said, hey, maybe we shouldn't include this, or they just don't care. They're kind of going with what Sean's saying, like, okay, we're just going to be all out cheesy. We're not trying to make something good, and we're just going to end it this way.
Yeah, it ends like without telling you what happens, Sean, it ends in like you've already seen this whole thing. Like it goes beyond that. It goes like, oh, parent dinosaur to parent human, and this love connection that they've established. Really, it's so.
Basically, it's about it's about various animals getting along in ways they should not get along. Like that's I don't want to say any more, but and it doesn't really spoil anything. I probably should just explain it, but I just want to hold it back just in case people do want to be surprised in some way. But yeah, it's like it couldn't end it in a lamer way, I'd say.
Spoiler alert, the ending's lame. That's what we'll say.
Very much so.
Do the T-Rexes learn to hold up their hands? That's how I'd end it.
There is one massive showdown where it's like the T-Rex versus that thing that's bigger than the T-Rex. It's like I don't know, it's basically like a monster T-Rex. And then there's another thing that joins in, and it's kind of like King Kong, original King Kong versus like all the big what was it? What was the giant Godzilla? It's kind of like Godzilla combined.
And
that reminded me of the video game Primal Rage. I don't know if you guys, I mean, this is way back, and this is like a Street Fighter knockoff that is dinosaurs fighting against each other. And that's very much what I'd say a good 30 to 40 minutes of Jurassic World Dominion. Like once it gets real good, it's all Primal Rage. And it's I'm all about it.
My niece rated it a 10 out of 10, if that helps.
I'm with your niece, yeah. Me and your niece are kindred spirits there. But all right, but while we're on games though, just a little bit. Sean, tell us about what you've been playing lately.
Okay. I played over the weekend. I've been playing. I think it's pronounced Ys. It's YS.
It is Ys.
9. Monstrum Nox. I don't know. It's a bunch of gibberish. It's bad. It's bad.
You shouldn't say it.
Well, I had a bunch of friends who were playing it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to review it. They seem like they really like this game. It's like a PS2 era JRPG. It's just got like horrible graphics, a boring story. The combat's fun, but to get to the combat, you have to sit through hours of people just saying things that are really poorly written. I don't want to say it's a bad game because it's fun when you actually get to play it, but like I feel like JRPGs tend to fall into this like trap of being way too anime and like way too generic fantasy. They're never very interesting.
And for Sean to call something too anime, that's saying something. This is the anime. Here.
Yeah. Boom.
There's some anime in the game that I've been enjoying a lot. So Mario Strikers Battle League. This is the soccer game. They had it's the third version. It's the third game in the series. It started back in 2005 with the GameCube Mario Strikers. Then there was an online version on the Switch, on the Wii. 2 years after that in 2007. And now you've got a great version of this game on the Switch. It's kind of more hockey-like than soccer because you're always like smacking people. You're hitting them in like this is an enclosed arena. It has nothing to do with reality, but Mario sports games in general are fun, and this is about as good as they get. Like Mario Kart, of course, is the very best, but I'll put this one just a little bit under it as absolutely great Switch sports game. If you like Mario characters, if you like a version of soccer that's just all about like hitting people, not obeying any rules. There's no offsides. They've never heard of anything, and they've got some anime moments like whenever they go for like a super, whatever you call it, like a powered up super shot. They have like cut screens that are very much Dragon Ball. Like there definitely do some callbacks there. So very silly game, very fun. Got some online play too. You don't have a lot of great online competitive play on Switch games, but you've got it here. So highly recommend Mario Strikers Battle League, I believe it's called. So fantastic game.
Ooh, we got a comment from Mr. Alex Steiner. Or Steiner, right? Sorry. He's
Link's
playing The Legend of
Awakening.
Zelda: Link's Awakening on Switch. Infinitely replayable. Ooh, that's a big statement. Infinitely.
It's a really good version of the game because it originally came out on Game Boy Advance, I believe, and it was actually maybe even an original Game Boy, and it was black and white, very much seeming like a throwaway Zelda game. But then they revamped it completely for the Switch, and they gave it dungeon creators. So if you ever want to design your own Zelda dungeons, this is the game to do it. And I'm with Alex. It's a great Switch game. Alex and I have a picture of ourselves with our Switches when we first bought them. It's like our baby picture. Yeah. But Sean doesn't want to get a Switch. You don't. You're not. You don't. What are
I
you
had
playing these days, Caleb? Right? Oh, you did have one. You returned it, right? You sold it or something?
Me?
No, Sean did.
Oh.
I'm
But
sorry,
Caleb, are you playing
a
anything?
ghost opened the door. I had one back when they came out, and I had it for college, and I was playing. I've played Zelda. I've played Mario Odyssey. I've played. Oh, there was some like JRPG that was huge at the time, and the characters are in Smash now. I can't remember what it's called. I ended up selling it because nothing was coming out for like a year, and I regret it horribly because I want to play Animal Crossing. Maybe at some point I will, but at the same time, I'm waiting for a PS5. I don't.
Yeah, PS5 is the big ticket purchase. I feel you there. And another interesting thing with the PlayStation, they just launched their revamp of PlayStation Plus. So now they've got a PlayStation Plus. I think it's called Premium, and so now it's kind of trying to be like Game Pass. They're releasing a lot of first party titles and other bigger games free to play while you're subscribing to the service. It's just a different take, and I'm a big fan of Game Pass. Don't have any judgment yet on the new PlayStation Plus. So hopefully that can be as good as Game Pass because that is really the gold standard.
Did
And
that drop today?
It did. It started today, and
Okay.
Nintendo's got its own weird version of it, which
Oh.
isn't nearly as good. It's got N64 games on it, but like really, like who wants to go back and play N64 games a heck of a lot? I mean, I like them, but where are the new relevant titles to stream? That's what I want to see from Nintendo.
Hey, so Alex pointed out that Joey also got one, and then he wants to know anyone play Ghostwire Tokyo on PS5.
Oh, I know who did play Ghostwire. He's with us right here.
I played it. I played it on my PC till my PC burned out and I couldn't play it anymore.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was way too much for my PC. The bit that I did play, I played maybe an hour before. It seems like a lot of fun, but I got it for the PC and I shouldn't have because I have a potato. So
Ouch.
it's weird because I could play DMC5 when Devil May Cry 5 came out. I played it on my PC, perfect. But then like some games, maybe it's just the optimization or something. I could not believe I played DMC5 when it came out on my potato.
Was it too much for your graphics card or what?
Oh god, yeah. It was playing at maybe 10 frames a second or something. It was so bad.
Oh no.
But what little I did play seemed like fun.
Well, there you go, Alex. He attempted.
The 10 frames per second was worth it.
Oh, that would have been lagging so bad. I would have just threw the controller.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you said this was PC, so I would have just threw my keyboard.
It was rough.
Okay, Sean, what's your special edition for today?
My special edition. Oh my god. Do we have one?
Yeah. Introduce
Oh,
her,
I'm gonna
please.
introduce. Oh my gosh, did you just put a little anime girl behind us? I can't believe it. We finally ascended. We've ascended. The warp zone has warped to a place where nobody wanted us to warp.
Yeah,
we made it.
So please introduce her.
Okay, I wrote the review for it. You can see it in probably a little bit. I've been watching Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's appearing behind us. You can vaguely see it. It's so good. I hate that I love it as much as I do because it's like a rom-com. But
what
makes it different than other anime?
What makes it different is that all the characters are like archetypes. They're tsunderes, moe blobs. If you're into anime, you know what I'm talking about. They're character archetypes, but they're so well written and three-dimensional in a way that they don't have to necessarily be. Usually with these kind of shows, it's plug and play. I'm watching our views go down right now as I talk about this. Usually these character types are plug and play, and they just keep them there because everyone knows these characters, and people really like certain characters in these sort of shows. Like the tsundere is the person who's like, I hate you, but I love you. You know what I mean? That kind of character. But in this show, it's just like everyone is so well developed. Every character is so interesting. It's constantly funny. It's just super funny. And then it can go from like a funny episode about how people who wear boxer briefs are a certain type of person. I can't say it on a PG stream. But then the next episode will be like this dark episode about how one of the characters who's like everyone hates him and everyone thinks he's a weirdo and a shut-in, actually like it's because he beat up a kid who was posting pictures of a girl he liked, and how that like just ruined him. And it goes into his character. It's weird. It's weird how well written this show is and how it's able to do not only build these characters, but also be able to have these like conflicting emotions, basically.
Okay, so my first question is, what's up with these arm wrestling? Like, is this something that goes on throughout the show consistently?
No, it's just an episode. Every episode has like 3 segments, and basically the plot of the show is that the black haired girl and the blonde guy, they're in love with each other, but whoever says that I love you first is like the submissive one in the relationship. So neither of them wants to admit it, because if they do, then they lose. And they're both like super smart, so it's like Machiavellian, where they're trying to get the other person to admit that they love them. But every episode is like 3 different segments or whatever, where it's either them coming up with some scheme to get the other person to say I love you, or some little like skit where they're playing a game.
Sean, what you're talking about reminds me of the 2003 French film "Love Me If You Dare." And now I know that's a very obscure thing to throw out, but if anyone's going to catch that reference, it's you. Have you heard of that movie? Is it anything like it?
I have not heard of that movie, but right. I love the fact that you just pulled the year.
You might want to go. Yeah, you might want to do a deep dive. I think this is a Sean style movie. If you like this type of anime, maybe this is your type of French film.
This sounds a little. It sounds a little like a G-rated 50 Shades of Grey. Like, is that what this is?
It's not G-rated. It's probably PG-13. That girl, the brown-haired girl, she's like in the disciplinary committee, and she's all like, everybody needs to be this way, and everyone. But she reads like 50 Shades of Grey on the side, like legitimately. Like she's actually a weirdo. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't say it's a G-rated show. It's probably like geared toward teens. It's probably PG-13, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm surprised by how much I enjoy it, because this.
And where do you see it, Sean? Like, where can you find this show?
It is on Crunchyroll.
All right.
Where all anime is at.
Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll.
Okay. What would you rate it?
I rated it a perfect 4 out of 4.
Oh. And Sean keeps his Crunchyroll. He drops Discovery Plus. He doesn't watch 90 Day anymore, but he keeps.
I don't. I dropped 90 Day Fiance to watch anime. That's how pathetic I am.
I feel abandoned by you, Sean. I'm not gonna mince words. Like, that was our thing, and it's gone now. So
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
We still have 2003 French films.
We have that, and we've got Winning Time. Hopefully,
we do. 2. We do have Winning Time. Caleb, anything you've been watching lately? Anything you want to talk about?
I think the only thing that I haven't seen anything new. I'm such a boomer. The newest thing I saw was Jurassic, and that was just because of my niece. I'm like, if I watch something, it's like, I don't know, documentaries on how corrupt the money system is on YouTube.
Well,
that's my idea of a fun day.
Huh? I could talk to a documentary real fast. We need to fill 5 minutes. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I watched Anthony Bourdain Roadrunner on HBO.
Great
just
film.
Dropped on HBO. So good. So good. Anthony Bourdain is like one of my heroes. And seeing his process going from just like a drug addicted chef essentially to becoming a writer, to the way that his show developed into him just being a travel writer. Amazing. And then the way it looked into his suicide and the people who knew him. It was such a fantastic film. Even if you don't know much about Anthony Bourdain, I highly recommend the movie. Just as
you know who I bet doesn't like that movie is Asia Argento or Argento.
Asia, yeah.
That is such a hatchet job on her. And I'm not saying it's not fair. It may be fair for all I know, but wow, they don't hold back at all on who they kind of hold responsible for his downfall and ultimate demise.
No.
Very dark film, obviously. You know, Bourdain killed himself. He ended his life. But yeah, it's inspirational in a way. It's a movie about reinvention. He was stalled in his career, and he found this whole new thing, kind of created it as he went. And I love, my favorite quote from him is, "Don't be a tourist, be a traveler." Which is just great. Like, get out there, see the stuff. Don't just go to the safe places. And this man went to the most very dangerous places he could find. He was not afraid of anything. So like that's something to respect and admire, I'd say.
Yeah, and I one of the things that really struck me, and I'm not a father or anything, but all the stuff about fatherhood and how he wanted to be like the TV dad, I thought that was just like it hurt. It was a movie that really did a great job of just emotionally investing you in this man and letting you see what he was really like. And I mean, he was not a perfect person, but it's just so interesting to see his journey.
You can see that on HBO Max. It's been out for a while now. Another thing that will come to HBO Max eventually, but not anytime soon, is Gabby Giffords Won't Back Down, which I just had the opportunity to see. And I can't do
exclusive.
Big one for Tucson coming. It's coming down the pike. It's going to be in theaters only next month, and then eventually will be on HBO Max because it's made by CNN and they're joining at the hip. So you will see it there. But yeah, look out for that one down the line.
We gotta review that one. I'll watch it. I'll watch it for WarpZone.
Definitely. It's all about Tucson, which is nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all right. Any last words?
Well, real quick too, I'll throw in because I don't think we talked about this last week. I saw The Northman. It was fantastic. It's my second best movie of the year. The middle is a little long. It's basically Gladiator. It has all the same beats as Gladiator. It's the same sort of story, but the way it's shot, it's so well acted. It's beautiful. That final fight is still sticking with me. It is amazing. But I don't know that's for everyone. Obviously, it's not. But it's a really good film, and it's out on, I think, Paramount Plus, Peacock, one of those. I don't recall. I ended up just getting a subscription to whichever one just to watch that, and it was worth it.
You, Phil, any last words? Anything we should keep our eye on?
Not sure if I'm excited or not for Lightyear. That's what comes out this week. Kind of nervous about it, but we'll see. We'll see if we can trust Pixar still.
Ooh.
I forgot that was coming out until you mentioned it. Shows what I know.
And I don't know anything that's coming out other than the Gabby Giffords Won't Back Down. And I'm low-key excited to see it. I just found out while we were writing all those articles last week that she is married to Senator Kelly. I had no idea. I was like, oh, no wonder they're always together, like kind of cuddling up on each other.
I can't wait to see it. We played the trailer on the news on Thursday, and the behind-the-scenes stuff. Yeah. The part where they show the plate and she's just laughing, like I cannot believe how good-natured she is about it. Like that's what I'm looking forward to seeing is that personal stuff. She's so just good-natured about what happened.
Hey, you know what? I guess you got to be if you're shot in the face, right?
Yeah, like it's a remarkable story. But yeah, she does have that attitude that's in her own way. It's just as inspirational as Anthony Bourdain, the way he lived his life as well. So yeah, that's a link between those two films. Sure.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right, I guess we're gonna wrap this one up, guys.
All right.
Yeah. All the best. See you guys downstairs.
Thanks for joining us.
Peace out.